Hi, I'm Bryon, one of the owners and trainers at CrossFit AZO. We're here building a community and forging athletes in the Kalamazoo area. The Kalamazoo Mud Run and all the challenges that it's going to offer the endurance community fits perfect with the CrossFit mentality and approach to training. With CrossFit, we don't use the same type of methodology that you would find in many fitness centers or athletic clubs or general strength conditioning programs. We take the best of everything that we feel is going to make an athlete better prepared for the unknown. So for the mud run, you know you're running, you know you've got obstacles, you know there's going to be at least some mud. How do you train for that? Most athletes that run find themselves on the treadmill or the paved surfaces. And the unknown that you experience here is going to help prepare you for the unknowns of the mud run. So for example, we would start teaching fundamental movements, and we have about 9 fundamental movements that are proven to carry over to the demands of life, the athletic field, and the battlefield. Once you get these movements down where you're mechanically consistent, we then encourage you to add some intensity. So you're going to do it heavier, you're going to do it harder, you're going to do it faster, you're going to do it longer, and you're going to do it better. So if today it looks pretty good, next week it better look pretty good plus. One of the first movements we begin with is the air squat, and it's fundamental for healthy living and better yet for developing high-end athletic performance. It's a simple movement where you start with your feet positioned with a solid base underneath your hips, and you'll essentially sit back by bending at the hips and knees and squatting. And ideally we want you to squat with what's referred to as a below parallel squat. The other movements that we feel would be beneficial for, say, the mud run would be a bear crawl, which is a movement executed in a quadruped stance. So your feet and hands are going to be on the ground. You're going to move much like you would if you were crawling, but you're on your feet and your hands. The other movement is called the sidewinder, which takes a stance on the ground, starting in the bear crawl position, where your feet are on the floor, hands are fixed to the floor as well, and then you rotate from a prone position where you're looking at the ground to a supine position where you're going to be looking up towards the sky. And to do that, it takes rotational strength, stability, coordination. You have to have this ideation of the movement created in your mind ahead to make it easier. So it's fluid when you're faced with an obstacle like you might encounter in the mud run, where you have to move in untraditional movement patterns with mud and other obstacles that are going to be challenging along the way.